Her name is. Written by Joey King. Narrated by Jake Furman. It was a damp, wet, dark, wet, damp, wet, dark, wet, damp, wet, and dark, stormy night. A filly was wandering the halls of an old abandoned factory, alone, with occasional thunder clapping outside the windows aligned along the left side of the hallway that would flash every 30 seconds. The lights above were so dim they barely functioned. Most of them flickered. The orange light bulbs were perfectly visible in their flickering glory, hanging upside down, screwed into upside-down black metal dog cones with pipes supporting their light weight. Babs' seat continued down the hall and felt nervous. That's when she saw a weird but also large wooden box at the end of the hallway, about a house property's distance away. As Babs' seat continued, she grew more nervous, approaching the ominous box of mystery and secrets. She then noticed there was a giant hoof crank on the front of the box, almost like it was a jack-in-the-box. Babs' seat stared up at the box, which was slightly bigger than she was. Okay, actually, it was twice the size. She cautiously raised her right hoof out towards the big red handle of the crank and tried to move it counterclockwise. Babs' seat was surprised by how little effort was needed to move the crank. It seemed to almost move on its own. Oh wait, it was. The hoof crank spun on its own, going slightly faster for every revolution, until it suddenly stopped at the peak of its height. Babs' seat was getting concerned, then loudly gasped when the top of the box started to rattle slightly. Babs' seat reached out to put one hoof on the box's lid, and without warning, the box's lid shot open with Twilight Sparkle herself spurting out the top with her front hooves reaching high to the sky, or in this case, the ceiling.
Princess Twilight? Why are you in that box?
Babs' seat asked nervously, staring up at her in fear. Twilight Sparkle stared down at Babs' seat with her never-changing, overly joyful smile that only Pinkie Pie would make. Twilight then responded,
Because I am the fucking mimic, oh yeah!
As Twilight said the last two words, she leapt out the box, and right as she was in midair, a terrifying metal robotic skeleton with glowing orange eyes leapt out of the skin of Twilight and right at Babs' seed. Babs' seed screamed in terror as the mimic started to mutilate her body in all sorts of delightful ways. Babs' seed slowly started to reawaken. Her vision was blurry and couldn't make out any details of the dark space. It wasn't pitch black, but the next closest to it. Babs' seed then felt it. A sharp spike of pain faded more intensely the more aware she became. Babs' seed was hanging in the middle of a very dark, empty room, in the shape of a perfect cube, with Babs' seed hanging in the middle of it. A big metal hook pierced her back, letting her hang there helplessly to bleed out and slowly die. She felt off, messed up, and like her insides were being shifted, though she couldn't look inside her own body. Babs' seed's body was the only part of her that remained untouched, minus a few bleeding scars across her chest that don't seem to be lethal. But what Babs didn't notice yet was her twisted and mutilated limbs that were all just dangling ropes of veins and blood, like it said ramen dunked in way too much soy sauce. The pain of the giant hook in her back overpowered the pain of all of her limbs gone missing. Babs' seed's face looked like how most ponies end up looking after getting into a bar fight with some minor bleeding and a black eye. Babs could hear a distant song playing in a possible room nearby. It sounded very dubsteppy, and had this awkward singing that sounded like it came from some pony who was a little too excited to rush to the back alleyway of a cocaine production plant in Southside Chicago. Babs' seed could just about make out the lyrics being sung, and got instant PTSD when the words, "My name is the fucking mimic, oh yeah," were being sung. The song was so addictive that she couldn't even feel the pain. It was like the song was calling out to her, crying for Babs' seed. Babs then saw it. A pair of double doors opened as a big gust of wind swam throughout the room. The doors were located at the farthest bottom left side of the wall Babs' seed faced. The other side of the doors was just a pitch black void, but Babs could feel something in there, like a spirit or dark force of some kind. Babs suddenly fell off the hook as the hook's hanging rope seemed to be cut off right then and there, and Babs hit the ground, almost knocking her out. Babs groaned in pain, hitting the smooth concrete floor, but couldn't wail too much of her voice out as she already felt defeated and basically already dead. Babs' seed then saw the entire threshold of the double doors move alongside the wall towards the middle to be positioned right in front of where she was, with the door still open, showing the dark abyss inside the doorway towards her, aiming at her like a mysterious cannon waiting to take out whoever looked inside. Babs thought she was just seeing things, because door thresholds moving along walls breaks basic laws of physics. The lyrics were a lot easier to hear, though still had an echo to them. Babs started to breathe heavily while hearing the badly distorted voice sing,
My name is David, and I want some ice cream. David, that is my name. David, I want another. David, where is my ball? I'm running out on the road. There is a car.
Upon hearing the word car being sang, a loud, thunderous engine revving sound screamed from the dark threshold, with an instant pair of blinding white lights shining right into Babs' soul. A moment of suspenseful silence occurred for a few seconds, like somebody paused the song. The singer sang as the car's 4 wheels burnt on the floor upon takeoff, speeding towards Babs' seat at full speed very quickly, and rams right into the dying filly, killing her instantly. Some time ago, Princess Luna was in a warehouse office that overall had a World War II vibe. She had glasses on, with her mane tied in a bun, as she was drawing that same metal skeleton on a piece of paper with an ink and quill. Next to it, on the desk, lay the lifeless skin of Princess Twilight Sparkle.